Lola Shanae Shoyinka is director of Ake Arts and Book Festival. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're having you and we're glad to have you here. And then, of course, there is Femi Olufowoje Jr., who's director of the stage adaptation of The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives. Babasegi's Wives.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and Femi does a lot more than just being the stage director of the adaptation of Babasegi's Wife. But I've seen some of your works in London, and I guess you've done quite a few in Nigeria as well. Maybe it would be right to say, Ake Arts and Book Festival, what are you looking to contribute to it when it happens in November?
Well, I'm really hoping to bring alive a novel which has its home within the festival in its own right. But making the transition from page to stage is the brief. To bring alive this contemporary novel, dark tales, secret wives, in an average polygamous Nigerian home, onto the stage, whereby, you know, people who haven't had the opportunity to read the book could actually appreciate the inner minutiae of the story on stage.
Okay, so Babasegi's Wives, where did they come from?
I have no idea.
And how many
You created them.
How many wives?
4.
4.
Only.
Yes, but you created them. Where
Yes,
did
I
they
did.
come from?
The novel itself is actually based on a true story. It's something that happened in Ibadan, straight
Excuse me,
out of...
you were the writer of the
Yes.
book.
I am.
Yes.
It's all a bit
Guilty as
incestuous.
Lola is guilty as charged. Go on.
So yes, it's a friend of mine, my brother's girlfriend to be exact, actually told me that story. She was a doctor working at UCH. This is when I was 14, which is about 26 years ago. And
About 2 years ago.
Now you've dated yourself.
I know I have, but I don't mind. I think approaching 40 for me is great. I can't wait to be able to say, look, at 40, I cannot be doing that. You know?
That's the year of liberty, is it?
Yes.
The age of liberty.
Yes, it's when it all starts. But yes, it's based on a true story set in Ibadan. 3 wives, a polygamist who decides he wants to take on a new wife, and he does, and it's a trophy wife, a young woman called Bolanle, who, very different from his previous wives. Bolanle is a university graduate, and she thinks she's going into this family to just have some peace, because she herself has had a pretty traumatic childhood. But all hell breaks loose. I think she ends up... Babasegi thought she was going to bring something to the house or to the home, the family, but I think she ends up taking a lot away from a lot of people who had lots of secrets.
I think this is going to be worth seeing.
Yes, it will be.
When is this festival, please?
It's the production itself is on the 22nd of November.
Friday.
It's a Friday, and it's in the evening, starting at 7:30. But the festival itself commences on the 19th of November.
Where?
In Abeokuta.
At the Ogun State Cultural Center.
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you being the person right behind the creation of this idea that crystallized into the festival? What inspired it?
Well, having been privileged to have gone to a lot of literary festivals myself, both in Africa and outside Africa, in Europe, I just kept thinking to myself, Nigeria really should have something, a big literary festival that brings together the brightest and the best on the continent
the
and
writers
in
we
diaspora. Have. Absolutely. I mean, we've won just about every prize there is to win on the face of the earth in terms of our literature. So why don't we have like a massive festival that people from all over the continent come to, where they can rub minds? And I think it's very important as well that readers, have that opportunity to connect with the authors themselves. I know how much, as a budding writer, how much influence that had on me, what sort of impact. I would love a situation where I can facilitate that, and we have 150 guests coming to the festival, out of which we have 81 authors from all over the world. So
that's big.
Lots of books, we have a big book fair, we have the festival bookstore, so all the books written by these authors will also be available. So I think it's important for people to make that connection, be able to ask the burning questions that they have.
So that it's called Arcade Arts and Book Festival. So we have drama, there's stage, there's a book exhibition. What else is there?
We also have 2 film shows. Benga Kinagbe, I don't know if you're familiar with The Wire, which was Obama's favorite TV series in 2008. Benga Kinagbe was actually in The Wire. So he's coming to the festival. He's going to be on a panel. But apart from that, we've been given the license to show one of his films called Home. It's one of his newer productions. So that's going to be screened. And also coming to the festival is Adikbero Oduye, who was in a very big indie in the States called Pariah. So we're going to have film. We're going to have different areas, from short fiction to poetry, to page to stage, to acting tips for prose, to illustrating children's books, writing children's books, different areas of the arts. We're going to have workshops in the talking drum, in dancing. And then we're going to have the big book festival, which will start on the 22nd. So it's going to be the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. And that's where you'll be able to see a lot of the authors on different panels talking about different topics, from history to the contemporary, the books coming out now that are recording our contemporary history, to sex and sexuality and sensuality in African fiction, all sorts of topics. And we also have, we're doing sketches from one of Wole Soyinka's new plays called Alakpata Akpata. So we've got that as well. And we have a big concert to which we've invited 15 musicians. And that's being led by Adebantu. And he's bringing all these people musicians from different generations. So we have Orlando Julius, Jeffrey Odili, Paulson Kalu. We were going to have, of course, Fatai Rolling Dollar, God rest his soul. And then Stella Monye, Oritz Wiliki, Mike Okri, and then lots of contemporary younger ones. So we're going to kind of trace the history of Nigerian music as well through this concert.
All roads lead to Abeokuta.
All roads lead to Abeokuta, to
which date
Ake.
to which date?
From the 19th of November to the 24th.
19th to 24th.
So, Femi, I was going to ask you then, from page to stage, like you, I will now have to borrow those words now and use it more regularly.
They've been patented.
Page to stage.
Yeah.
Now, how many should we expect to see books being transformed into a stage performance? Is it going to be
in terms of my
many wives?
just one.
Just one. And then are there others?
That's the only one for this year, because we only actually have 2 slots for a stage production. But what we've talked about is actually that this is something we need to do, every year that the festival is on. We need to think about some of the new books that are out there and see how we can, bring them to the stage for people to watch, to see, to enjoy.
The Many Wives is one. What's the other one?
The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives is one. The other one is Wole Soyinka's, one of his new plays. It's called Alakpata Akpata. We're going to see sketches of that.
Sketches of it on
Yes.
stage.
On
Who's
stage.
directing that one?
Tunde Awosami.
Tunde Awosami is directing
That one. Now, one of the things that we've got in Nigeria is our ability to create drama and to make it happen on stage. But recently, some people have been saying we're not doing a lot of it. I went to a school where it was regular. Every few weeks, we'll have a stage play.
And so-
Our husband has gone mad
Yeah, yeah,
again.
so-
And it was normal. All those stage plays, the Lion,
Lion and the Jewel.
Lion and the Jewel. We had so many of it, and some of us did take part in it, but we don't see that anymore.
We even did
some-
some Shakespeare in my time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, the richness-
Macbeth and so on. Yes.
As you probably know, the richness of our heritage in terms of a theatre tradition dates back even beyond the 15th century. And through the years, post-colonial, pre-colonial, post-colonial, that has been consolidated. And then it's only recently, I mean, growing up in Nigeria, having my formative education in Ado-Ekiti, drama was our staple diet. We had drama clubs. Our literature classes were about plays which were written by our local writers. We did have the opportunity to read about classics from abroad and try and reinterpret them in our own way on stage. So there was a very rich, and there has been a very rich tradition of theatre making and storytelling.
Well,
and as you
recently-
probably know, we have laureates, you know, being recognized all over the world. Recently, yes, there's been a dearth, but at the same time, we should acknowledge that there is a renaissance, and that is what excites me. Being a staple diet for every young man and woman in school, drama is important in terms of shaping their social and personal development. And I think that's been recognized, albeit very, very minimally. However, the people within the industry, the people who are empowered to make things happen, producers, artistic directors of middle school art centers and clubs and groups, are recognizing that. And I could say quite the last 3-4 weeks for me back home in Nigeria has just been so inspiring to see the young generation.
We have 20 seconds to go, and I'm counting 20 seconds now, right from this second.
Okay.
You've got 10 seconds of that 20.
Right.
What would you say about what we're doing with regards stage plays?
Okay.
Are we doing enough?
We're not doing enough,
Okay.
but there is optimism. We need more training, definitely. The technique needs to be enhanced. We need to bring in practitioners, our own practitioners, from abroad. We need to bring them back home to instill technique and the practice, the working methods of discipline and professionalism within the industry. And I think that will just, in a way, be a small,
Lifeblood.
big blood vein running through the
Okay,
industry.
the last 10 seconds then is over to you. The event, again, where we're having it, what we expect in 10 seconds. If you can jumble all those words together.
Ake Arts and Book Festival. Come and meet your favorite authors. We're going to have film shows. We're going to have stage plays, lots of workshops, lots of master classes. There's going to be a big book fair as well. We have the Festival Bookstore. It's going to, you're going to have a ball if you come. We've got a lot in store. You'll have a ball and a book.
A ball and a book.
Yeah.
Okay, and that
From the
note-
19th to the 24th of
19th
November
to the 24th,
at the
yes.
Ogun State Cultural Center.
This is right. This is
Well,
right.
hopefully we'll have you back here before then, just a week or so before that. It'll be good to have you here. Well, thank you very much, Lola Shinain, Director, Ake Art and Book Festival. Good to have you here. And Femi Ilufojo Jr., Director of the stage adaptation of The Secret Lives of Babasegi's Wives and Director of several other plays.
Adapted
apart
by
from-
Rotimi Babatunde
Yes.
adapted by Rotimi Babatunde.
Yes.
for the stage.
Okay.
For the
Original
For the
novel
stage.
by Lola Shinain.
Okay. The one that knows the secrets of the secret wives of Babasegi. Okay.